Okay, this is our 3-day, 2-night trip in the north of Kosciuszko, hiking the Jagungal Circuit. So the night before we camped at Bradley and O'Brien's hut. This is on the way there. It's a free spot. There's a drop blue, and it's just really gorgeous, to be honest. We stopped here to get ready. We sorted out all our gear, had some breakfast. Well, we'd slept there, so we did that when we woke up. This little guy was cute as all hell. We had some coffee, and then we set off to Round Mountain Car Park, which is where you leave your car. This is located on Tuma Road. We checked the map, cleaned our shoes, and then decided we'd start walking. Majority of this trail is fire trail, so it's pretty easy to follow and nice and open. The trail in total is 42 kilometres, depending what you do. It was 46 for us because we decided to summit Mount Jagungal on our first day. Some people do that on the second day. So here we are, crossing some streams, cruising on the fire trail, and we saw a little snake. He's a bit of a cutie pie. We carried on, again, like I said, mostly fire trail, super easy to follow, and pretty epic views the whole time. Here I am taking a little loo break, and onwards we went. So you can see here, this is Mount Jagungal in the background. We're going to be summiting that bad boy later this afternoon. Here we are getting some water and chucking an aqua tab in there to purify. My water filter had actually been frozen overnight and wasn't working. Here's Dershko's hut. So this is where we're camping for the first night. We always like to sign the guest book and check out the views from our tent. Like, are you serious? Pretty incredible. So when you get to Dershko's, if you head up the hill to the left of the snow gums, that's where you'll find that spot. So Dershko's hut is about 14 kilometres from the start. It's a great spot given there's water source and the drop toilets, like I said earlier. We hung out, we set up, had a bit of lunch before we decided we'd set off and summit Mount Jagungal. So like I said, some people do this on the second day of the loop. We decided to do it that afternoon. It's a 10k return trip from Dershko's, so it does make that first day 24 kilometres. There's a little bit of bush bashing to get there, and the trail isn't super clear, but it's very well worn in the way that bush bashing trails are, if that makes any sense. The views, again, as always, when you're summiting anything in the snowies, are always superb. We reached the top. It's 2,061 metres high, and we saw a couple of wedge-tailed eagles, which is wicked. These guys were just hanging around, enjoying a bit of a fly, the updrafts, and then we decided we'd head back down to camp for dinner time. So it's about 5k's back. Here we are, as usual, having some noodles, watching the sunset. So our go-to meal is always, well, for shorter trips, is mee goreng, TVP, and dehydrated peas. It always hits the spot. Sunrise on the next day. So day 2 is going to be 18 kilometres. So we're heading from Dershko's hut to the Tumut River, and we'll go via O'Keefe's hut, which is really cool. You'll see some of that later. So here we are, quick little water stop, filling up and filtering, a little more walking, and then we decided to have breakfast on trail this day. So just to shake it up, we're going to be having coffee and porridge. That is mine and Sean's go-to all of the time on trail. It's just easy, hits the spot, have lots of fruit and nut in the porridge, and it's pretty satisfying and filling. We hung out here for a little bit, again refilled some water before starting our day heading out towards O'Keefe's. Like I said, O'Keefe's is one of the coolest huts in the Snowy Mountains, I reckon. But that's purely because the walls are lined with old newspaper clippings. You'll see some of that soon. Here's Ali in the loo. Hi. And me having a peanut butter sandwich because that's one of my go-tos on short trips. Here you go. That's the walls. Insane, hey? It's really cool. The sort of things that used to be published are pretty wild. And here we go, onwards to the Tumut River. So this was amazing. The scenery was seriously dramatic. I did not expect these kind of huge rolling hills. And here's me. As soon as we got to the river, I got straight in. That's me, classic. Whenever there's a water source, I'll do that. We set up, insane views all round, and then we decided we'd jump in the water again, this time for a proper soak rather than just me having a quick dip. Views from our tent. Stunning. Quick game of Monopoly Deal before bed. A little wiggle, which Sean was loving clearly. And then here we are, a really misty morning. It had been really cold overnight. And our gear had kind of frozen that we'd left outside. Check this out. Seriously frozen solid. Very funny. Beautiful sunrise though. And it was nice to actually start warming up because, like I said, it had been cold. Look at that steam. That's a sign of coffee. And look at these views for our coffee. So gorgeous. There was one other person camping here overnight. I don't think we actually saw them though, but they were there. This is a little river crossing to get up the other side. Ali was great at it. Some gorgeous little flowers, and onwards we go. So the last day is only 4 kilometers, but it is all uphill. So basically you cross the river and then climb straight back up the other side. This was a loo that had a pretty incredible view from the doors. Here it is. Lovely with the view. And then onwards we go back home, back to the car. What a day.